go.
My name is Joshua. Could you say your name, please?
My name's George. I'm the youth manager at Door 84.
Thank you. And what is Doris for, and how would you describe it to someone who doesn't know about it?
I guess in a sentence, Door 84 is a youth and community centre. So we're a community hub and we do all sorts of different things for people living in the Groves, in York, in the wider community.
And what is the main purpose of Doris for in the community?
So our main purpose, I guess, would link to our mission statement and our values. So we're all about building bridges between community members. So whether that be young people, that could be children under 18, it could be adults that are sort of 16 to 25, young adults. We'd work with adults with additional needs and disabilities. But those are just specific sessions. We do all sorts of different stuff with absolutely anyone in the community. So we're all about bridging those people and making that communal feel.
And what age group do you work with after youth sessions?
So the youth sessions we do, so sessions specifically for young people, we start at the youngest 8 and it goes up to 17.
What kind of activities or sessions do you run after youth sessions?
So we do loads of different things. The core sort of sessions that we run are our youth clubs that run all year round on a Monday night, a Tuesday night, and a Wednesday night. On a Monday, it's our biggest in terms of age group, so it's youngest 8 all the way up. That's better, isn't it? So on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we have our open access youth clubs. So on a Tuesday, it's for 8-year-olds to 12-year-olds, and on a Wednesday, 13 to 17-year-olds. And we do loads of different activities, and it varies each week because it's very much decided by the young people how they choose to spend their time at those youth clubs. We always describe them as time and space for you, for the young people. So we might have, I don't know, a baking activity one week, an arts and crafts activity. We've got the pools table, table tennis, table football. But if you want to come along and just chat to your friends, chat to your mates, even if you just want to chill in quiet, peace and quiet for a bit and sit on your phone, that's absolutely fine. How you spend your time at Door 84 is up to the young people that come to those sessions.
Okay, and what do you think youth look like Doris for a matter for young people today?
So for young people today, they're, in my opinion, and just by looking around at the resources and offer available, there's very little for young people to do outside outside of school. So after school, in the school holidays, the stuff that does exist is quite often far away, and it's tricky for a lot of young people to get to. It can be quite expensive, so that could be a barrier to a lot of young people accessing it. And what we at Dorrit 4 want to be able to provide is youth sessions, activities, and provision that's available to all young people. And I think that's the real importance, not just of us, not just of Dorrit 4, but of youth clubs in general. I think certainly when I was growing up in York, there was a lot more open access youth clubs. I was almost spoiled for choice. Now there's very few. You can probably count them on one hand. And to get to those, like I say, you have to travel quite a bit of distance. So I think the importance of somewhere like Dorothy 4 is every young person having the option of somewhere to go, to join in activities, to chat to their mates, a safe space, not only physically, but somewhere where they can talk to trusted adults that are outside of the home, outside of the school. I think each young person that comes to us has a different reason why they like Door 84, and I think that's so important to have opportunities like that for young people.
Okay, and what do you make sure that youth club is a safe and welcoming space?
How do we make sure it's safe and welcoming?
Yeah.
Yeah. So at all our youth clubs, we've got youth workers, youth support workers, and volunteers, and their role is to make sure that the young people have somewhere to come where they can chat to people, whether that be a safe space to meet with their friends, so they're not out and about in the streets, they're not meeting random places in the community. But it's also a safe space in that if any young person wants to chat to an adult, wants to ask a question that for whatever reason they might not feel like they're able to in school or at home, a young person's always welcome to have those conversations with an adult at Door 84. And they can do so with the knowledge that it's not going to be passed on to other members of staff, it's not going to be shared with other young people, it stays between them and the youth worker. The only obvious exception to that is if there was a safeguarding concern. So if we were a little bit worried about something you'd said, then we might speak to other adults. But we'd only do so with the young person being told, with their knowledge and consent. So that's how we make sure young people feel comfortable chatting to us, but also comfortable in the space.
Hey, what skills or competence do you hope young people gain from attending?
What skills and confidence? So I think in terms of skills, I think the main thing young people get from Door 84 is it allows them to get to know themselves better. They can express themselves with young people, other young people, with the peers in a safe place. I've seen young people who, when they first start at Door 84, they're very quiet, could I say? They're very anxious of what to expect. They're not really sure of themselves or what to do. But then a few months down the line, they're one of the most chatty people that you can meet. And I think that's because Door 84 for them is a place where they can build relationships with young people their age. They can speak to adults that they have a trusted relationship with, and it allows their confidence to grow at their own pace and in a space where there's no pressure to do anything. They can sort of grow at their own pace.
Hey, well, do you um trips?
Do we do trips?
Yeah.
Yes, we do trips. What have we done in the last year or so? We've done day trips, ice skating. We've been to the pantomime at Christmas. Last year we went on a residential trip in summer and we stayed overnight in Snowball Plantation. On that trip, we also went out for the day to Scarborough. We went to a water sports centre and did all sorts of different water sports. And that's just in the last sort of 12 months. We've also done loads of different things in the past. So we've been to activity centres and done outdoor activities. Uh, we've been to science centres. We've been visiting local tourist places in York, so like Clifford's Tower. Uh, in answer to your question, yes, we do trips. We do all sorts of different things. And a key part of that is it's led by the young people. So they'll tell us what they're interested in doing. We can't promise it'll happen, but we'll certainly go away, explore how we could make that happen, and do a bit of fundraising to make sure we can do that.
What residential trip like do you go on?
What residential trips?
Yeah.
So we briefly mentioned residential trips, didn't we? So last year we went to Snowball Plantation, which, if people don't know, it's sort of an outdoor space that's got a centre where you can sleep, but then also woodlands that you can explore, have campfires, play hide and seek in the dark. And we used that as a base. And from there, one day we went out to a water sports centre and did water sports activities. We went to the coast for a day, went to Scarborough and had fish and chips, went paddling, built sandcastles and played on the beach. That was last summer. The previous summer, we went to Kingswood, which is a residential centre specifically designed for young people. And we did all sorts of different stuff there, didn't we? We did archery, kayaking, abseiling, zip wire. Uh, but in the past, we've done all sorts of different residential trips, so lots of things like that. We've been to other places and done other outdoor activities. We've done all sorts of different things, really.
Hey, well, so as the youth manager, what does your role involve?
So my role as youth manager is basically to oversee all of the stuff we've talked about. So it's making sure that the sessions, the core sessions like the youth clubs are running each week. It's helping the senior workers and the volunteers who deliver those sessions make sure that they've got the tools and resources to be able to do that and best support the young people. It's planning other activities, so whether that be projects or trips. Uh, and a lot of my role, as with anyone at Door 84 and indeed the charity sector in general, is fundraising and making sure that these sort of things are a possibility.
What inspired you to work in youth services?
What inspired me? So, the reason I wanted to do this job is because I'm from York, I was born here, I grew up here. My family lived literally on the same street as where Door 84 is based. Uh, and I knew I wanted to work with children and young people, but doing it in York, in the community that I myself grew up in, that's extra special to me, and that's what motivated me to work here at Door 84.
What do you find most rewarding about winning Doris for?
The most rewarding thing about working here is seeing the difference it makes to people. And I know that's a bit of a cliche, but you really can see the change in young people from when they first arrive. They're very unsure of themselves, they're not sure what to expect. They've perhaps not ever even been to a youth activity outside of school. So this is their very first step into sort of socialising with peers and getting to know the young people, building relationships with trusted adults. Uh, and seeing young people go through that transformation from being maybe anxious, a bit unsure, to being confident, to being really chatty, uh, to asking of me, of the youth workers, of other peers about other opportunities that are available in York. So for a lot of young people, Door 84 might be a stepping stone onto other activities that they might not have had the confidence to do in the past. And seeing those young people grow and go down that journey is the most rewarding thing for me.
And what changes or improvement would you like to see in the future at Doris for?
So the most challenging thing for Door 84 is fundraising. So a lot of people don't realise we are a registered charity. So we rely on donations, we rely on grants, we rely on generous people doing fundraising to keep us going. Uh, we don't get an awful lot from local council or the government to keep going, and I think a lot of people think we do. Uh, all of our sessions, all of our services, all our activities, they're run by the money that members of the public donate, that people fundraise for. All of it comes from grants and letters that we as staff and volunteers write to big trusts and big organisations to support us. And the most challenging thing is to keep that going, to make sure that Door 84 exists, not just in the short term, but into the long term, so decades down the line. Uh, in answer to your question, the biggest change that I would like to see is for that fundraising journey for our endeavours to just become easier, because it does take up so much of our time and energy at the moment. And not just us as staff, but we have a team of volunteers as well that fundraise, and they're amazing. Like, I can't give them enough credit because they do it all off their own back. And without their efforts, places like Door 84 and other small charities just wouldn't exist.
Hey, wow. Thank you for being this interview. And yeah, the young people who watch this video, we might be able to get more people to Doris for.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
definitely. Thank you for speaking to me.
You're welcome. Hi, my name is Joshua. Tell me your name, please.
My name's Theo.
And what is your role at Doris
My
for?
role at Door 84 is a volunteer.
What made you want to volunteer at Doris for?
The main reason I want to volunteer here is to just almost just do something myself and just make a difference to others.
What do you usually do during a youth club session?
On a usual youth club session, I would turn up at at 5:30 and get straight out to either setting up activities for the young people, or straight away from a bit late I would rock up straight away and get involved with activities myself.
Very well, Gary. Very interesting. What do you enjoy most about volunteering here?
I think what I enjoy the most would be is maybe when I turn up into the car park outside. There's always a young smile out there waiting for me, which is quite nice. And it's just coming here just to make a difference, really. Just being a bit of a role model to some that want it.
What's one memorable moment you've had while volunteering?
Sorry. One memorable moment would be. There's quite a few highlights of my time at Dorothy Thorpe. I think the residentials are always quite good. They're always quite a highlight of my years.
So what did you do on the residential trips?
What we did on the residential trip, so the most recent residential trip was when we went to Scarborough and we did at Snowball. I mean, the highlight of that was probably either the water activities we did or went to Scarborough.
Do you get a lot of sleep on the residential trip?
No, Josh, you know the answer to that already. We get no sleep on the residential trips.
Tell me about it.
Was that the next question? Why don't we get enough sleep on the residential?
Yeah, why do you not get enough sleep?
Because there's always people sleeping in the next room to us, always causing a right ruckus.
Yeah, to the boys' room.
Yes, the boys' room, yes.
I do understand that in
yes.
that room.
Yes, I can imagine.
So, what's one memorable moment you've had while volunteering?
I think one memorable moment while volunteering is probably the residential trip.
Why do you think volunteering and a youth club is important?
I think it's important just because it. I think it's important to volunteer here because obviously I don't know, just maybe it's just a bit of a younger role model for some of the young people that they can just come here and just speak to me if they need to, or.
Well, absolutely. Why? So, how many years have you been volunteering at Doris for?
That's a good question. It must be about nearly 3 years now.
Nearly 3 years. Oh wow. Well, anyway, thank you for being in this interview.
Have you got any more questions?
No, that's about it. Thank you for being in there and
thank
I've been
you.
interviewing George next.
Thank you.